What is happening, YouTube? This is Fable Grimro. I've promised you guys another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for quite some time now, and today I'm going to give you guys Harpies. Harpies have been one of the decks I've been kind of messing around with lately. This format particularly, I feel, the 2 weeks that's left of it at least, because the March-April ban list is the April 1st ban list is upon us in about 2 weeks. It's coming up soon, but with the sort of demise of Heavy Storm and a lot of the really fast decks, sort of the Dragon Rulers are sort of out of the way, stuff like that. The format's become a lot of back row heavy decks. You got your Fire Fists, stuff like that coming around. So Harpies, people were definitely getting on the Harpie bandwagon for quite some time, and they're a really effective deck if they can keep their resources going. So let me give you guys the breakdown of what I got here. First off, I have 3 Harpie Lady 1s. The ruling with the Harpies, for those that don't know, I'm sure everyone knows this by now, because it's been around forever. Harpie Lady 1, 2, and 3 all count as Harpie Lady. Cyber Harpies like this too. They all count as Harpie Lady permanently. This includes in the deck. So you can't ever have more than 3 of this card at one time. So you can't have like 3 Harpie Lady 1s, 3 Harpie Lady 2, something like that. So you gotta have to pick and choose which one you want. I chose to run the 3 Harpie Lady 1s as I like the boost that she will give to all of my Harpies on the field, all my wind monsters. And this also includes things like Lightning Chidori and stuff like that too, that will get a boost while she's out. Some people run 2 and then 1 Cyber Harpie Lady. As Cyber Harpie Lady sort of, it deals with Thunder King a little bit better with the boost from the field spell. But I want to go for the pure beatdown with the field boost for Harpie Lady 1s. So 3 Harpie Lady 1s, 3 Harpie Queens. Got that 1 ultimate. I gotta get 2 more. 3 Harpie Queens. The Field Spell Searcher, so you send it from your hand to the graveyard to add the Harpie's Hunting Ground for your deck to your hand. And then while in the on the field and in the graveyard, she also counts as Harpie Lady, so she will get all the benefits for being a Harpie Lady on the field or in the graveyard, while actually not being a Harpie Lady in the deck. So it's sort of like a name change ruling bypass kind of thing. 3 of her absolutely though, as she's your Field Spell Searcher. 3 Harpie Channeler. Sort of the main Xyz playmaker in the deck outside of Hysteric Party. This thing is sort of what makes... this along with Sign is sort of what made the deck get back to the competitive radar, as it was just sort of an anime fanboy deck with My Valentine for the longest time, even with the field spell and the Harpie Queen when that came out back in the day with Force of the Breaker or whatever. But this thing right here allows you to it's sort of like a Summoner Monk effect, where you can discard a Harpie card to special summon a Harpie monster, or this also includes the Harpie's Pet Dragon. And if you would have a dragon type monster on the field, her level is increased by 3. So that way you can, with Harpie's Pet Dragon, or with Tempest if you choose to run Tempest in your builds, you can easily get to rank 7s. And she also has the this card that counts as Harpie Lady in the field or the graveyard effect as well. Some really nifty combos with her involving rank 7 and rank 4 plays, as you can make both with her. Absolutely great card. And now, probably the newest addition to the deck is the 3 Harpie Dancers, who I think it was like a promo in Japan. We were wondering when we were going to get it, and we got it in the Joey's World collection. And she's sort of like a pseudo wind-up rabbit effect. Works very nice with a field spell. So again, she has the Harpie Lady field or graveyard clause. You can target 1 wind monster you control, return that card to your hand, and then normal summon 1 wind monster from your hand that turn. And you only use her effect once per turn. She works. There was an OTK with her and the Divine Wind field spell and Birdman, which is why all that stuff got limited. And stuff last ban list. But just for the additional sort of like bouncing effects, and especially the reused with the field spell, you can just like normal summon again, and then it also triggers the field spell again. She's really good. You should probably run 2 if you don't have the space, but I still like her at 3, as she's also, you know, an additional Harpie card to help with like my searching for party and stuff. Just really good. The one of Harpie's Pet Dragon, you use this with Harpie's Channeler. So you go Channeler, discard something, summon your Pet Dragon from the deck in defense mode, and then Channeler's effect increases up by 3, so you can make your rank 7 plays. I only run the 1, 2. Some people want to run like 2. It just, if you draw into the 1 Pet Dragon, it sucks. So people will run 2, but then there's more of a chance to draw into that 1 Pet Dragon. So it's sort of like a trade-off in that kind of sense. But so the 1 is fine. 2 Summoner Monks help you get rid of magic cards out of your hand, including Hysteric Sign, as Hysteric Sign will trigger from Summoner Monk as well, and also let you do like Harpie Channeler type plays where you can go, you know, Monk, summon in defense, discard, switch summon to rank 4 if you want to, summon out Channeler and use Channeler's effect again to summon out something else, or go like Monk, Channeler, or something. If you have that sort of a hand resource, and you're just like you want to go off that turn. Again, helps a lot greatly with the Xyz plays. Also Dark. I'll get back to that later when I get to my extra deck. And then my last monster is the one of Zephyros, the Elite. Bounce a card on your field back to your hand. Summon him back from the graveyard. He gains, or no, you lose 400 life points that turn. You only do it like once per duel. Yeah. Nothing. He works really nicely with Monk in that he's a Dark and also a Winged Beast, so he works with the field spell as well. And he helps bounce back dead parties, sign if you have to, just like any sort of like of your field or your face up cards that you leave out, summon him back. He's a solid one of. On the spells, 3 dualities. I was debating on whether or not to run this card. As you do, it is a pretty special summon heavy deck, and I decided in the end that yes, you want to run this card because the deck can easily the deck can have consistency issues in that if you don't draw certain things like sign or party, the deck tends to fizzle out. So this adds consistency, and you can also easily just normal summon a Harpie, use duality end turn, or set stuff end turn. Helps to set up your later game plays, and then if it does end up being dead, you just ditch it for Summoner Monk. So it just gives you a nice Summoner Monk target there. 3 Hysteric Signs, probably the key, the single most key card in the deck as far as maintaining advantage, because that's just what you have to do with this deck. Is you can go off and explode with your Xyz plays all you want to, get a bunch of like 2,000 plus attack Harpies out, but if your opponent is able to live through that one turn and then is able to respond with like a Dark Hole or something else like that, you need the signs to regain your hand advantage. And what this does is that when you activate it, you can add an Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And then when this card will be sent to the graveyard, at the end of the turn, you can add 3 Harpie cards with different names from your deck to your hand. We can only activate one sign per turn. So this allows you to recoup some of those, like the deck with like the channelers, the monks, the just the general like Xyz plays will cost you like a lot of like hard minusing right there. So this helps you recoup for a lot of that minusing. So you need to definitely be able to have a sign go off like as often as possible to regain your advantage. 3 Harpie's Hunting Ground. The field spell. When either player, or first all Winged Beast type monsters gain 200 attack and defense, and then when a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters is normal or special summoned, the player who controls that monster can destroy 1 spell or trap card on the field. Also make note this works if your opponent summons a Harpie monster. That's rather key for the mirror match. I found that out the hard way. However, this card is really nice when it goes off and your opponent just like has like a 4 or 5 back row, 3, 4, 5 back row. You just activate this thing and just start summoning out Harpies with like Dancer and Channeler and stuff like that, and just keep popping their spell traps. But you have to be careful is that the spell trap destruction is mandatory. So it can you could in fact pop your own spell traps, which sometimes you want to. You could pop a sign. You have this left out on the field, which would be kind of cool. But sometimes you might have to pop itself too, so you have to watch out for that. But definitely a great card for the deck. Sort of what makes Harpies one of the more threatening decks is that this card allows them to easily deal with opposing decks' back rows, which a lot of decks are playing a lot of back row heavy at the moment. The 1 Elegant Egotist, you can search it off of Hysteric Sign, and what it does is you can, if you have a Harpie Lady on the field, special summon 1 Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters. You can either add I'm sorry. If Harpie Lady is on the field, special summon 1 Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters from your hand or deck. So you're pretty much, if you have like your Channeler, do the stuff, and before you do your Xyz plays, you would activate the Egotist to get out a Harpie from your deck. Note, it has to be a Harpie Lady from the deck, and Harpie Queen and Harpie Queen, Harpie Channeler, Harpie Dancer are only Harpie Lady on the field or graveyard. So you would have to summon out your Harpie Lady 1. So the summoning effect is not as great as it may seem, because you won't really have the targets in the 1 or the Cyber Harpie if you choose to run that. But it's more so for the extra search off of Hysteric Sign and just like another 1-for-1 in the deck. And then if you get the summoning effect to go off, that's great, because it's just more explosive plays that you can do. The 1 of Book of Moon, the 1 of Dark Hole, I usually leave this in game 1 and like I'll side it out for game 2 or so. It's a lot of players are just taking Dark Hole out of their deck, and they happen for the last few formats, I'm sure. But it still gets there at times, which makes it still a relevant card. On to the traps. 3 Hysteric Parties. Discard a card from your hand. Special summon as many Harpie Lady monsters from your graveyard as possible. When this face-up card is removed from the field, all the monsters special summoned by this effect are destroyed. But with the Xyz plays, now Xyz are out, that effect usually isn't quite as relevant as it was back when this card first came out. This is sort of like your Harpie Return from the Different Dimension kind of thing, where you just like set this thing and you're going to summon 2, 3, 4 Harpies off this effect at times. Just lets you get huge pluses and huge swings. Definitely like a win condition type card. 2 Icarus attacks. Unlike Blackwings, I don't run, the deck doesn't really support 3 Icarus like Blackwings do, but 2 is fine, as it's just a nice way to get rid of your opponent's cards. If your opponent's going to, like, you know, MST this, or try to dark call your monster, you go Chain Icarus, then pop 2 of their cards. And then we get more of the staple stuff. 2 Fiendish Chains, because effect negation is cool, and you can bounce it back with Zephyros possibly. 1 Mirror Force for protection, 1 Torrential Tribute because Torrential Tributes, 1 Solemn Warning because Solemn Warning, 1 Compulse because it deals with things, and 1 Bottomless because it's a trap. Onto the extra deck. We have our rank 7s in Dragosack, Big Eye, and I also run Master of Blades. You make these with the Channeler Pet Dragon combo. I also did mention I don't run Tempest, just because it's not as great in Harpies as it is in things like Dragonides. It does get there, and it's definitely an option, but I just didn't have the space for it, just didn't like it as much. And I also don't run Magical Hats, because it's just way too gimmicky. Like, it's a nice way to get sort of a search for Hysteric Sign, but it's just way too gimmicky for me. But yeah, Dragosack, Big Eye, your staple rank 7s. Master Blades, because it's just really good against certain matchups. So I decided to leave it in there for the 1 spot, even though I don't really go into it as much as other cards. 2 Lightning Chidoris, probably one of the main Xyzs that I go into, as you just spin back set cards when it's summoned, detach, spin back a face-up card. One of the stronger plays in the deck is just to make Chidoris, get rid of things. Another strong play is Ice Beast Zero Fine. Negate effects, it gains attacks of everything negated. Very strong play that Harpies can do. There's 2 of her. 1 Queen Dragon Jin. Personal favorite card of mine, and because of this deck, this card like apparently increased like a $10 or $15 card right now. But she works very nicely with the Monk and Channeler combos, and you would use her pretty much to get back the pet dragons that you would Xyz with. So you go Dragosack, detach the pet dragon, make your 2 tokens, go into a rank 4, bring out Queen Dragon Jin, bring back the pet dragon, helps recycle the pet dragon, and that's like, she absolutely shines in this deck. 1 Maestroke, 1 Black Ship of Corn. I actually might cut this guy for Arc Knight or Exiton. I actually just got them in the other day, so I need to put them in my deck still. I mean, like, Black Ship is alright, but Arc Knight and Exiton probably just like outclass like the spot that it should be in right now. So I'll probably have to fix that later, but right now I still have Black Horn in there. 1 Direwolf, 1 Cowboy, 1 Dweller, because it just shuts down certain decks like Mermails and other things that are problematic. 1 Key Beetle. This I can make with, as I said, I get back to it later when I get to my extra deck. Here are my darks right here, the Zephyros and the 2 Monks. If I would go Monk into another Monk, or Monk into Zephyros, I can make a Key Beetle play and possibly like protect a Hysteric Sign or protect the field spell if I must. And then the last extra deck card is the Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Takes 3 level 4 wind monsters, but 2000 direct attacker. Definitely, it's a very situational card. I've only probably made it like once, but it's like, 2000 directly for game. Alright, and then I have an extra deck kind of thrown together. I find myself terrible at making extra decks because I'm not at making side decks, as side decks just tend to change not only with like what you're doing, and also like the deck. There's no like one correct side deck. It's more like what matchups are bad for you, and also what other people around you are going to be playing. And then, so we have the one overworked to deal with the Fire Fists, as they're like one of the top decks right now. Also pretty nice against the mirror match, but just be careful that this card also works against you as well. The third Icarus, the one Thunder King, just to add more beats and a little stun element to the deck. Seems a little counterproductive with all the searching that the deck does. However, works out very well. 2 DNA surgeries. Make everything like Winged Beast or whatever, messes up a lot of things. Kind of funny to have this out with like Summoner Monk, make him a Winged Beast, with a DNA surgery out. Messes up things like Boujins and Evils and stuff like that. 2 Rivalry, as well as 2 Gozen, because all you play are Winged Beasts, mostly. So both those 2 cards can absolutely wreck certain matchups. One of Maxi. I used to have Maxi mained in this, but just because of the prevalence of Fire Fists and Boujins and other sort of slower decks that don't special summon quite as much, I cut Maxi to like a side deck like one of for now. 2 Mind Crush, deal with like spellbooks and things. Soul Drain, again more like Mermail help. And then 2 Trap Stuns, again deal with those back row heavy decks, and also works very nice to go open your draw phase, activate Trap Stun, and then just start popping their spell traps with Hunting Ground while they cannot respond because they're under the Trap Stun. So the deck so far has been working out very nice for me. Again, it's more of just like tweaking out the consistency issues, making sure that you maintain card advantage, getting your sign plays off, getting you can, because what a lot of players do with Harpies is that they will see it more as sort of like a pseudo OTK deck that will swing big like all day every day, and while it can do that, it's a lot better to sort of slow the deck down a little bit and play the grind game, because if you and then just wait for the moment to just go out, to go all out, use your party play, stuff like that, and go kill your opponent that way. Sometimes it might take a few turns to set this up, which is alright, because the format is slow enough where you can do this right now. So definitely, Harpies are a pretty strong choice. Definitely at the beginning of the meta, they were doing a lot. They were a strong deck, definitely counter things like YuGiOhs and yeah, Fire Fist, Boujin, stuff like that. They sort of like tapered off a little bit in popularity with the end of the format, but depending on what the next format is, they might go right back up. They're definitely a very strong play right now, and a very, very dangerous deck. So let me know what you guys think of the deck. Comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. So peace out, YouTube.